Today we're going to be turning this into this, with a force limit of 59 and an income of 34 ducats a month. Ignore the minus income, that's just how I play, we can fix that if we weren't aggressively expanding. But the most important thing, the number one great power in just 60 years. Before we get into the video, I'm thinking about making a series where I play the nations that no one else wants to play, so if that's something you'd like to see, leave a like and let me know in the comments who you'd want me to play. I won't play any country like in Australia where you have to spend 100 years waiting around doing nothing though. We actually have really good national ideas, starting off with national tax and shock damage received, but then going into fort defence, manpower, cav combat ability, morale of armies, CCR, goods produced and discipline. We're going to grab the free company as we're making 1.4 ducats a month with one of the richest countries in the world. Now, because we're so strong and powerful, this means grabbing a Diplo rep advisor, religious diplomats, and also taking the dip rep from the government interaction means we can actually grab an alliance with the Jam and the royal marriage with the Ottomans. We exploit development on our capital, which means we can complete the mission, giving us 5% morale of armies and claims. Also building to force limit gives us another 5% morale of armies. We can then go to war with QQ, promising a Jam land. They're not strong enough to go and siege down instantly, so we have to take battles with QQ and slowly weaken them until we're ready to go and siege them down. Ajam siege down QQ's allies and we piece them out. After Ajam stack wipe QQ's troops, they're no longer a threat anymore and the war's pretty much won. The only thing left to do now is to siege them down. After when we finish sieging down QQ, we piece them out and begin to release a vassal swarm. We can then grab an alliance with the Ottomans, sell titles and start restructuring our debt. We release a bunch of vassals because it helps with our economy, but more importantly it helps with our force limit more. We can then grab an extra stack of mercs and go to war with the easiest country around us. The AI realised it was defeated and just suicided the troops into me. After one of the quickest sieges ever seen in EU4 history, we can finally piece them out. At this point we realise Ajam are supporting Timurit's vessels, which ain't going to be very fun when they get extra allies. A problem ignored is a problem solved, so we attack Georgia instead. The real threat from Georgia is the 20k rebel stack. Why kill rebels when you can let random nations around do it for you? We bait the rebels onto a mountain fort to make it easier to deal with. We add Trevis onto the vassal stack. The Mamluks warn us, but they don't realise that they're the next target. We annex Georgia, but we have to wait until the Ottomans have finished the war before we can go to war with the Mamluks. We then go to war with the Mamluks, but instead of fighting the Mamluks we wait a month and go to war with AQ as we have Ottomans in the war with us. The war doesn't start off well as we're about to get flanked by 18k Mamluks, but due to the allowed tax trick we're allowed to reset our movement and just run away. After running away and starting to siege down Shirvan, we actually reach Tech 5, which should give us the advantage. The Mamluks run all the way up to Shirvan just to fight me, you gotta respect it. We then piece out Shirvan for double AE, which ain't the smartest move to do, but 4 out of the 7 nations that can join the coalition are at war, so it doesn't really matter at this moment. We let Ottomans do all the heavy lifting in the war. We improve with the Great Horde before we sign the peace treaty with AQ to make sure that they won't join the coalition. Ajam got the Transoxiana alliance, which is always nice to see. If you ever see the AI stacking up on you like this, you have to overstack your siege to make sure that they don't attack you. Usually if you overstack they'll just walk away. It also goes for if you can see them in your own land coming towards you, you can do this. We probably already should have hired advisors at this point, but getting the event to get a yearly inflation reduction and already having an event for a trade efficiency, it's time to hire them. After improving with Genoa a bit, we can ask them to share knowledge, which means we don't have to develop the Renaissance, which is good for us. We would have liked to wait a few more months before piecing out with the Mamelukes, but due to the call of peace, we just took the peace deal. Most of the nations that would join a coalition, insulting their rivals or a few months of improving would get them out of the coalition. We then go to return calls on QQ. Trevis on asking for a province back that they only had a claim on, I felt was very disrespectful. Quick war with QQ and then we can turn our attention to Ajam. At this point I realised Ajam allied and Ottomans and, well... And there we have it, with the number one great power was Hisn Kayfa. Now, in all fairness, this alliance did actually ruin the run, but not completely. We just had to change the strategy. See, our plan was to rapidly expand east, and as long as we got a truce time with all the countries around Persia, we should have been able to keep the hordes happy. Also, Ottomans are a very unique country, which they go to war very often, which means as long as a coalition wouldn't form without them, it shouldn't form with them, as they will go to war before the coalition forms, and then they'll peace deal and go to war again, and that means that they actually should never form the coalition. Now, this is RNG based, but if they do start to form the coalition without the Ottomans, you can just fight the coalition before the Ottomans have a chance to join. But like I say, this one alliance ruined that strategy, so we're now just going to chill a little bit and consolidate our lands. The main problem was Poland rivaled us and Austria was pretending that we didn't exist, so we couldn't get any decent allies on the other side of the Balkans to help deal with the Ottomans. You know we're down bad when I think this is the first time I've ever took a mill idea on the channel. If you know how to get rid of the unknown attitude without going to war with a nation, let me know, because I really do need to know this. After sitting around for way too longer than I've ever liked to, we have to fight someone. At this point we can also start vassalizing Arabian miners, so we'll work on doing that as well. A truce time is finally up with the Mamluks, so we can go to war with them. We have to call Ethiopia in after when we start the war because they won't join going to war with the vassal instead of them directly. Ethiopia did a good job sieging down the one country I couldn't be bothered going sieging down myself. We finally get the peace deal with the Mamluks. The war took a lot longer than I was expecting. We then trade our alliance with Ethiopia for a vassalization over Medina. We have a quick war against QQ as well as start the Golden Era. I don't want to wait around any longer, so it's time to declare war on the Ottomans. I made a mistake here. I was meant to take war tactics and didn't even realise, so I just wasted manpower for the longest time.
Move your body. Move your body, feel the flow, do the moves. Feel the rhythm, take control. Go the beat, it isn't fall. Move your body, feel the flow, do the moves, let it show. Move your body.
At this point we're minus 13k manpower, so it's time to make a peace deal with the Ottomans. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to fight them without mercs and just fight them with normal troops, but we take money, war reps and a little bit of land. We then grab alliances with Venice and also Muscovy later, hopefully they can help us out with the Ottoman in the future. Once our truce timers are up with Ajam, we continue expansion to the east. We also keep expansion into the Mamluks. At this point we was going to go economic ideas and stack discipline, but I just can't bring myself to do it, so we switch to diplomatic. We take this province for AA just to do a pointless mission that means nothing to us. We peace out the Mamluks. We can also then grab an alliance with Castile. We then begin the war of the remnants of the Timurids dynasty. Again, we shouldn't be taking these provinces for AA, but who's going to stop us at this point? I'm going to leave the run here, but let me know if you want to see more types of these runs in the future.